Hi, it did work, pre-test. So maybe the YouTube video and sound will be better for me to do this with, even though it takes longer to load. But I'm going to do this. I'm not going to waste any time, because it's like 5 to 5, which is a good time to do this, dinner time. Makes people hungry listening to me read it. But I'm going to go through it, since I don't have a kitchen to do it out of yet. One day I'll own a home with a wonderful kitchen. Industrial. The pots will be hanging from over my head, and, you know, I'll have a beautiful flat stove or nice electric burners or whatever. Anyways, flame burners. So now TV meal planners. This is for those who are tired of turkey. Those are for those who are also possibly tired of vegetarian foods. A nice steak hits the spot every once in a while. This is for couples or for those short notice events. So I mixed summer with winter and put together a whole night event. And it goes like this. Hearty meatless vegetable stew or soup. The soup freezes well, so you can make a large batch and freeze leftovers in amounts you would use for one meal. You serve with bread or biscuits, of course, and careful not to fill yourself on those when serving with the main course, as in this case, because you don't want to ruin your appetite for what's ahead. The recipe for the stew is 1 can of red kidney beans, drained, half a cup chopped onions, 1 can tomatoes, 2 beef bouillon cubes, 5 cups water, half a teaspoon dried thyme, 1 bay leaf, 1 can low sodium, where health required, tomato soup, or just regular tomato soup for those that don't need it, 1 cup chopped celery, 1 cup corn kernels, 1 cup of semi-pre-softened chopped carrots. The reason I say pre-semi chopped and cooked is because the soup, when it cooks, will end up having harder carrots, even though the rest of it will be perfect. So if you cook the carrots just a little bit beforehand and put it aside, when you cook the whole thing together, you'll have a perfect concoction. It'll be just the right amount of softness for all of it. Now, what would a soup or stew of this kind be without carrots? But, hey, to each their own. If you don't want carrots, you don't have to have them. It's just an option, right? 1 cup of diced potatoes, barley or macaroni. In mine, I use both the potato and barley because there's no meat, and it's a winter food, and barley tastes good. So macaroni would be used in place of either of the above. If your budget doesn't have it in, it's to have the other two, or if you're on a short notice and you're sort of standing at a store going, oh my gosh, I gotta grab something to take home, or if you just, you know, want to be alternative, go ahead. But I choose the potato and barley. And if you don't have either of those, macaroni will always work on Mama's notice. In a large soup pot, combine beans, onion, tomatoes, bouillon cubes, water, pepper, thyme, bay leaf, tomato soup, celery, corn, potatoes, and parsley. Bring to a boil. Reduce heat and simmer 35 to 40 minutes or until vegetables are tender. Remove bay leaf before serving. Make 6 to 8 for the main course for servings. Nice time to talk. So the people that are there as you're making it, people can also help together and chop things up in the kitchen together. So, you know, you've got some interaction going on while that 40 minutes goes. And that never hurt anyone. Or you can pre-plan this part so that there's very little to do when the night begins. But you need stuff to talk about, right? And stuff to do while you're talking. Anyways, now, main course. I thoroughly believe that in order to be a great entertainer, cook, chef, etc. You have to know when to break the rules, but at the very least when to bend or mix them up a little. Above you can see I gave a soup that people would ordinarily make and eat during the colder weather, or when you are doing outdoor events like ice skating or tobogganing. But now I'm going to give you a recipe and a meal that people traditionally like to eat in the summer, when we are at our hottest time. What makes us do that is beyond me, but that's just the way it works. And I'm going to reverse its traditionalism from being a summer barbecue thing to do. The dinner I speak of to you that goes with this winter soup above is a steak one, but not just any kind of steak dinner, a marinated steak dinner. Now when I say a marinated barbecue, you can choose the option of actually using a real barbecue to do it. You have the right kind, if you have the right kind of patio or clothing to go in and out to the barbecue area to flip the steaks. One other thing before I give the ingredients to the recipe that I found some time ago, waiting for the perfect time to share it, when it comes to marinating your steak, depending on what you have in your house already, if you store alcohol at all, to make the evening more romantic and the meal richer, one can marinate the steak in wine. Not recommended for those who have little to no experience cooking experience, especially in the steak department. But for those who have spent a little more time in their kitchens and are feeling comfortable enough to add in this extra touch, go ahead. With a soup, a wine, marinated steak in the wintertime on a real barbecue would taste delicious, would be divine, rather. For those wanting to do something special for their family or special loved one, even if you've only just started dating. Follow the recipe given below just right and your date should go off without any problems. I know I would love to have someone cook this very meal for me. And once you've survived the soup and dinner portion, I have something fun and unusual to end the event off with. Good luck and good eats. I hope everyone enjoys. Marinated barbecued steak. 2 sirloin steaks. If it's dinner for 2. More if it's more. 1 cup apple cider vinegar. 1 cup of water. 1 cup of soy sauce. Half a cup of maple syrup. Half a cup of olive oil. Half a teaspoon minced ginger. 1 teaspoon sea salt. Optional if you don't like sea salt. I don't like sea salt. Your steak won't notice. The above ingredients won't notice. Table salt will do. Half a teaspoon cracked pepper, 2 teaspoons garlic powder, dash of red pepper flakes. This is optional. I want them on my steak, especially if mine is being marinated in red wine. But you have the alternative white, and therefore you don't need red pepper flakes using white, if you use the wine at all. Marinated steaks, they need to be done for a minimum of 4 hours and a maximum 24 hours. I prefer overnight marinated steaks when you're planning a barbecue dinner like this one. If you're going to spend that kind of money on steaks, they might as well taste perfect from the first bite to the last. But time could be a factor for some. So a 4-hour marinade will do for those couples on short notice events or short notice events. Remove from marinade, set aside. Preheat barbecue at high for 5 minutes. Grill steaks on medium-high for 1 minute on each side, then 2 minutes at a time on each side for approximately 10 to 14 minutes for medium well done. I like mine well done. But in this instance, with the marinated steak, depending on what it's marinated in, I might be convincible to eat a medium well done one instead. It's not coming down too much of a grade. Now, one can have garlic bread on the side, or it can be under the steak like an open-faced sandwich, which is what I prefer. And of course, there are traditional options of having fried mushrooms and onions to the top of the steak. I prefer the works. Some might think just mushrooms. Others might not want anything, they just might want to enjoy the steak. Always be sure you have those on hand and set aside. They're easy to heat, they are pre-made, and it's one of my only moments I would allow a good evening like this one to include the use of a microwave. For even the garlic bread can be cooked to perfection just on time on the barbecue before it's put on the plate, either under the steak or next to the steak, straight from the barbecue. and then shower it with mushrooms before putting the parsley leaf for decor on top and serving. With this steak, one can have a little salad on the plate on the side, and you can put together reds and greens or purples and greens and all that stuff for yourself. It's not that hard. You can have the person you're with do it while you're doing other stuff. If you're a good enough cook, you can probably make your own salad dressing even. Plain dressing is pretty easy to do. Italian dressing, if you want to grab something from the shelf, you can never go wrong with that. Shake it and away you go. You know, black pepper dressing of some kind. I'm personally in the mood to keep it greasy by having some of those really large, wonderful, flavorful onion rings to lay across the side of the plate, because my garlic bread would be under the steak, in my case. You can get those large bag of onions rings at the frozen food sections of the higher end grocery stores. You can't get that from a Loblaws last time I looked. The really nice, thick, large onion rings, like you would get in a fancy restaurant. You don't want the little ones because that ruins the decor, and the effect is the whole point of the kind of meal event I'm looking at. It's the big ones. And there you have it, the main course. For some, having onions on the steak and the onion rings on the side of the plate might be too much. That's, you know, each their own. I personally won't have a problem with having it on my steak, because they're cooked differently and there's lots less of them. Now, if you make it this far in the evening or event and everything has gone great, whether it be Christmas and you want to get away from that turkey frenzy on New Year's or some other occasion, then now would be a good time for me to share with you my little treat or dessert, as it were, for the very end, to celebrate things going so well. Dessert was originally called Fiber Kisses by its original creator. But since I'm sharing this with all of you people online, I realize these little kisses have taken on a new name, Cyber Kisses. That's the information outlet I am using to share this simple recipe with you. I can't do it quite right. I don't know. You'll see. Cyber Kisses or fiber for after that good steak. You know, to show how much you care to your loved one. Pitted prunes, peanut butter. This recipe calls for crunchy, but to make things fun, you can use both smooth and crunchy, and of course you don't want to spare the expense by using Kraft, nothing else. Number one, Kraft peanut butter all the way. Now that squirrel is not around. Flatten prunes slightly, sandwich together in pairs with 1 teaspoon, or depending on the size of the prunes, you can probably get the little bit longer ones to make bigger kisses. Bigger smiles. Anyways, here comes the hard part. Now, you wrap them in foil or plastic wrap, twisting the ends so that the prunes with the peanut butter in the middle resemble 2 people kissing. And that's why I said you have 2 different sizes. You can buy the little ones or the long ones. If the first date worked out well, the 2 prunes could signify the possibility of there being a second date. Or else your entire house of guests will just have something to chuckle at, wondering where you came up with such a cute idea for dessert, and understanding that you care about their health and well-being, their dietary needs all the way around. Also, if you're full, you don't have to worry about the need of a bigger dessert. But if you do wish to add something more to go with your kisses, then go ahead, by all means, add your little something extra. Either way, you are a winner. And everyone is probably going to want you to be in charge of planning another event like this one. Thanks, everyone, for reading the post that goes with the recipe and watching this video. I would love to know how the event works out, whether it's an event just for 2, or if it's for more. If anybody uses my above meal plan suggestion for a holiday alternative to turkey, and for those vegetarians who do like to have the odd piece of meat now and again. It makes coming up with these meal plans and writing them out and sharing them with others worth it. When I get comments and hear stories of how things worked out. Thanks, and as always, I'll be back with another one again someday. Right. So yeah, eat, be merry, enjoy, and of course, the stuff can be used any time of the year, but you guys got the idea that I was trying to take summer and winter and put it together and say, hey, do it now. And oof, you've got romance and spirit of the moment. All right, that's it. That's Jennifer Cooley, or a.k.a. Superwoman, as everybody knows. Writing her screenplays hard and, working on her food on the side from Canada. Now TV, I look forward to having my guests in the new year. So peace out, leave comments, ask questions, make requests, and we'll see what I can do. Bye for now.